In this tutorial, I'll explain 4 association related properties: the cascading property, lazy, fetching, and inverse. I'll try to apply these 4 properties in the one-to-many association example. I'll take the same code which I generated for one-to-many. In that, I'll try to experiment with these 4 properties. This is the one-to-many code what we have generated earlier. Here under the set of the project mapping file, we can see some properties like inverse, lazy, fetching. In the project mapping file, we have the one-to-many association, which is returning a collection. One project is associated with a collection of workers. One-to-many association between project and worker. One project is associated with a collection of workers. With respect to the one-to-many association, here you see few properties like inverse, lazy, and fetching. I'll try to understand these properties. Next, you look at the worker mapping file. Here we have many-to-one association. From project, we had one-to-many association. From worker, we have many-to-one association. In the many-to-one end also, we can have the 4 properties. Currently, you see only fetch properties. Here also, we can use all the 4 properties: the cascading property, the inverse property, the lazy property, and the fetch property. Inverse property cannot be used here. We can use cascading, lazy, and fetch property. The first property I'll try to understand is the cascading property. Cascading property is a very simple property, and it is also a very useful property. It is useful for performing cascading operations. Cascading means same operation is repeated on the related table. Association mapping is all about relationship between one table and another table. We have relationship between one table and another table. Whenever I do operations on one table, the same operation can be automatically done on the related table. That is called as cascading. So when I do a save operation, if there is an associated data to be saved, that will be automatically saved. That is called as cascading. Whenever I delete some data in the parent table, if there is an associated table data to be deleted, that will be automatically deleted. Whenever I do some update operation on the parent table, if there is some associated data to be updated, that will be automatically updated. That is called as cascading. So same operation is repeated on the related table. In the XML file, you should mention any of these options. If you want only save operations to be cascaded, then you must mention save. If you want only delete operations to be cascaded, then you must mention delete. If you want only update operations to be cascaded, then you must mention update. If you want both save operation and update to be cascaded, then you must mention save update. If you want all operations to be cascaded, then you must mention all. I'll try to use the cascading property in the project worker client program. This is the code what we have written before. I'm creating a project object, project P1 equal to new project. Project ID is 2. Project name is PHP project. We are saving the project. Next I go to worker. I create a worker object, worker 3. I'm associating him with this particular project. This is the worker name. Here we are separately saving the project, then we are separately saving the worker. Instead of separately saving the project, we can also make project to be automatically saved. When I save the worker, project data can be automatically saved because worker is associated with project. Saving worker can automatically save the project because you see that worker is associated with the project. If I enable cascading, then saving worker will automatically save the associated project. Saving project cannot save the associated worker as per this code because project is not associated with any worker. Here project is not associated with any worker. Worker is only associated with the project. To enable cascading, you should use the worker mapping file right now because worker is only associated with the project. Worker is only associated with the project. So you must go to the worker mapping file. Now I go to the worker mapping file, go to many to one. This is the place where we have an association with project. So here you enable cascading. I mentioned cascade equal to all. Cascade equal to all means all operations are cascaded. Save operations, update operations, delete operations. All three operations are cascaded. Any operation done on the worker, if required, will be automatically performed on the project. Now I have enabled cascading in the worker mapping file. When I run the program, we can see that we are saving only the worker. I'm not saving the project. I'm saving only the worker. Saving worker is automatically saving the project. That is called as cascading. When I save worker, automatically the project data is also saved. That is because of cascading. I mentioned cascade equal to all. Right now save operations are getting cascaded. Next I'm going to cascade the delete operation. I'm going to cascade the delete operations. I try to delete the worker. That should automatically delete the associated project also. I'm deleting the worker. You see that automatically the associated project is also deleted. When I delete the worker, the associated project is also deleted. So cascading is a very useful property, but it's also a very dangerous property. You should use it very carefully. The delete operations and update operations are dangerous. You must use it carefully. Otherwise, you may lose some data unexpectedly. You should enable it very carefully. Next property is lazy property. By default, Hibernate is lazy. By default, Hibernate is lazy. Why we say Hibernate is lazy? Because fetching one object doesn't fetch its associated data. When you fetch data from one object, the associated data is not fetched. Say for example, if you fetch the project object, the associated worker data is not fetched. If you fetch project data, the associated worker data is not fetched. That is because Hibernate is lazy. No need to worry because of the lazy behavior of Hibernate, because associated data also will be fetched when you try to use the associated object. I'll write this small program to understand the lazy nature of Hibernate. To understand the lazy behavior of Hibernate, I'll write this small program. I'm trying to read the project data. Session.get of project. If I look at the project object, it has project ID, project name, and a collection of workers. Project ID, project name, and the collection of workers. The workers has to be fetched from the worker table. By default, Hibernate is lazy, means if you fetch data from the project, it will not automatically fetch worker data. Fetching data from one object doesn't automatically fetch the associated data. That is why we say Hibernate is lazy. You can see it here. When I run the program, only project data is fetched. The associated worker data is not fetched. That is why we say Hibernate is lazy. When I do session.get of project, only project data is fetched. You don't see any call for worker. Worker data is not fetched. Now, if you want the associated worker data, you don't have to worry about it. When you try to use the associated object, the data will be automatically fetched. When I try to use the associated object, the data will be automatically fetched. In this slide, only project data is fetched. Worker data is not fetched. When I try to use the associated object, project1.getWorkers, it returns a collection. When I try to print the collection, that time the associated data is fetched. Once again, what is lazy property? By default, Hibernate is lazy. Lazy means fetching data from one object doesn't fetch the associated object data. Here, fetching data from project doesn't fetch automatically the associated data because Hibernate is lazy. Associated data will be fetched only when you try to use the data. Hibernate is lazy, but you should not worry about it. Hibernate is lazy, but lazy with a purpose. Hibernate is lazy, but lazy with a purpose. Why it is lazy? Because fetching all the associated data will take more time. Fetching all the associated data will take more time. That is why Hibernate is lazy. Because fetching all the associated data will take more time. And that effort will just get wasted if you don't use the associated data. Fetching all the associated data will take more time and that effort will get wasted if you don't use that data. That is why Hibernate is lazy. This is the project mapping file. You can see that by default Hibernate is lazy. Lazy equal to true. If you want, you can disable this property. By default lazy is true. If you want, you can disable this property. I am not going to disable it because Hibernate is lazy with a purpose. By default it is lazy. Let it be lazy. Whenever you try to use the associated object, Hibernate will automatically fetch the data. If you don't want to use the associated object, but still if you want to initialize the data, we have a method called as hibernate.initialize. If you want to explicitly initialize any uninitialized object, then we can use a method called as hibernate.initialize. Hibernate.initialize and pass the set. Project.getWorkers return a set. You can initialize that method. Now I'm not using the getWorkers method, I am explicitly initializing the method. Here you can see that worker data is not fetched. I am explicitly fetching the data by calling project.getWorkers. By default, Hibernate is lazy, means fetching one object doesn't fetch its associated data. No need to worry anyway because the associated object will be fetched on use. No need to worry anyway because the associated object will be fetched on use. Hibernate is lazy, but lazy with a purpose. Because fetching all the associated data takes more time. Fetching all the associated data takes more time. If you don't like this property, you can disable it, but I'm not disabling it. You can explicitly initialize the uninitialized object by hibernate.initialize method. Fetch is the most simplest property among the four properties I told. Fetch is the most simplest property. When Hibernate is not lazy, use this property only when Hibernate is not lazy. When Hibernate is not lazy, use this property to suggest a join query or to separate select queries. Use this property to suggest a join query or to separate select queries. When Hibernate is not lazy, it will try to fetch the associated data. By default, it will try to write two separate select queries. Select query 1, select query 2. It will try to write separate select queries to fetch the associated data. Instead of two separate select queries, if you want one join query, then you can use the fetch property and say that you want join query or two separate select queries. I once again go to the project mapping file. Here fetch is mentioned as select. Right now lazy is true. I make lazy as false. When hibernate is not lazy, then only you should work with the fetch property. Now I made lazy as false. When hibernate is not lazy, it will try to fetch the associated data. When hibernate is not lazy, then only we'll try the fetch property. Now hibernate is not lazy. It is trying to fetch the associated data. How it's trying to fetch the associated data? It tries to fetch the associated data by writing two separate select queries. The associated data is fetched by writing two separate select queries. If instead of two separate select queries, you want a join query, then you make fetch as join. Now I made fetch equal to join. Instead of writing two separate select queries, you see that Hibernate is going to write a join query. You can see that instead of two separate select queries, one join query is written. As I told, you should use this property only when Hibernate is not lazy. Not lazy. Not lazy means it is called as eager loading. Hibernate is eager loading. Fetching project automatically try to fetch the associated data. You can use the fetch property. If you want to separate select queries, mention fetch equal to select. If you want a join query between the two tables, then you mention fetch equal to join.